Let's call on our starting lineup from our Army Black Mamba Energy Drink. Team captain wears jersey number 8, Sergeant Jovelyn Gonzaga. At number 2, Private Mary Ann Esguera. Wearing jersey number 4, Private Ivy Perez. At number 13, Miss Michelle Morente. Wearing jersey number 14, Private First Class Nerissa Bautista. And at number 21, Private Janet Villarreal. Libero, number 10, Sergeant Angela Nuna. Sitting in as head coach, Technical Sergeant Rico de Guzman. Calling on our PETRO GAZZ Angels. Team captain wears jersey number 17, Relea Ferina Saet. At number 7, Seth Marion Rodriguez. Number 8, Aiza Maizo Pontiles. At number 12, Myla Pablo. Number 13, Marjana Phillips. And number 20, Jonah Sabete. Ibero, number 1, Sheila Marie Pineda. Sitting in as head coach, Mr. Arnold Lanyod. Of the Games and Amusement Board.
There you have it, our starters from the Army Black Mamba Energy Drink Lady Troopers. We have the usual 6 on the side for Army, as we see there Gonzaga leading the charge. On the other side of the court, Aiza Maizo Pontillas is still there, and we see Seth Rodriguez starting with MJ Phillips on the middle, and Sabete will be taking in the place of Gretchel Saltones from the Open Conference. Serve starts with Chisaet, Villarreal on the run. They go up to Pablo. Pablo getting the first point for PETRO.
What a powerful cross-court hit coming from Myla Pablo. Binuksan ang ating game ngayon. Napakalakas na palo.
Saet continues to serve for the Angels. Bautista, cross-court, popped up by Pablo. They go to Aiza. Pontillas denied there by Net and Nene.
Maizo Pontillas stopped by the blockers of the Army. Very well-timed block from the defenders of the Army Troopers.
I was able to ask the coaching staff who's the marked woman for them, and that's Pablo and Pontillas. So, unsurprising, they'll mark her in the block. They go up to Rodriguez on the other side. Army chooses Bautista. Saet goes to Pablo, and that is off the hands of Luna.
Myla Pablo, 2 for 2. And another cross-court hit. We're going to expect another great performance today from Myla Pablo.
Definitely explosive. I asked her earlier, how's the back? And she said, wala na. Pinapalitan na daw niya.
Yeah.
That's her joke. So she's going to play through it. Sabete holding it up in the air like an origami and getting a point on the end zone as we go to this report from our insider, Sam Morales. Sam?
Despite her new role as a middle blocker, MJ Phillips is that type of athlete who never gets tired of her usual pre-game routine. I would always catch her in the dugout listening to music on her headphones, listening to her favorite hip-hop and EDM songs. And she has a pretty solid morning routine too. I got to ask her about it. It includes journaling and watching motivational videos. Now the Angels are looking quite pumped up and motivated to win after their game against Creamline before going out in on the court. They were doing their usual routine of dancing together or doing Zumba. Now let's see if all these rituals will pay off for the PetroGAZZ Angels today. Back to you.
That's something that we'll expect from the Angels side. Well, when we go out from our prod room, it's directly to the dugout of the Angels, and definitely you'd see how loud the music can go as Myla Pablo will now serve for PetroGAZZ. Straight to Nunag. Perez goes up to Gonzaga. On the other side, Rodriguez will try. It's denied. Sabete off the blockers. Jov off speed.
Of course, another beach volleyball sport from Jovelyn Gonzaga.
Going for that cut shot cross
Yeah.
court as we see Getzel Soltones. You've mentioned a quick tidbit about Getzel, right?
Yeah, I talked to Gretchen Soltones earlier and asked her about her injury and if she's gonna play for this invitational conference. And she said, most likely, tops a week from now, if ma-assess siya ng kanilang team, ng kanilang team doctors and their staff, she'll be allowed to play a week time. So, we're praying for speedy recovery, but of course, gusto natin makita na 100% yung ating players. So, we wish her well, and hopefully makita natin ulit siya sa Daraflex court soon enough.
And while you're updating our fans about that, Maiza Pontillas, 100% efficiency on that classic cross court as Rodriguez serves. They go to Moriente, that doesn't cross for Momo. 3 points for PetroGAZZ. Let's look at that again. Too low
Yeah.
for Mitch Moriente. And let's go to this timeout by Coach Rico.
Pangalawa, sakto naman yun. Nay, bigyan ko mo lang tayo. Marente. Igamay mo lang din. Sagad ka na. Ang palo niya pag ganito na. Okay, andito na yung blocker natin. Pero ang depensa naman natin, silipin nyo. Kung nasan yung spiker, huwag kayo magtago dito sa block. Ganon din dito sa kabila. Pumalo si Maiso. Huwag kayo magtago dito, silipin nyo yung butas lahat. Ha?
Coach Rico, very stringent with the reminders there. As we see Jov Gonzaga and Myla Pablo both will surely be headlining this match today. Seth Rodriguez will be serving for PetroGAZZ. Straight to Nunag. They go to Gonzaga. Popped up there by Saet. Phillips trying to get that across. Denied. Sabete over the blockers. On the other side, Moriente will try again. This time, the roof was present courtesy of Pontillas and Phillips.
MJ Phillips and Isa Pontillas with a monstrous block. Grabe, saradong-sarado. Walang madadaanan doon si Momo Morente.
That marks the 7th point of the PetroGAZZ Angels, giving them a 5-point lead here at the first set. So early strides here for PetroGAZZ as Rodriguez serve go long. Three-point for Black Mamba Army. Let's see if they'll be able to convert. Net will be serving, of course, FEU standout. Private net Villarreal. They go to Phillips. Too hard to handle there.
MJ Phillips, volunteer. We have middle blocker with that point.
And that gives us a 5-point lead here for the PetroGAZZ Angels. We'll be back here at the PVL. Back here in the Premier Volleyball League Invitational Conference, Sabete tries to get that one through. After the Esguerra hit, point goes to the Army Black Mamba Lady Troopers. It's a 4-point lead, and Gonzaga will serve. Popped up by Sabete. They go up to Phillips. Read by Nene. Ooh, Pontillas unable to pop that up. Courtesy of Esguerra.
It was a rare call. Pero masyadong halata yung pagkaka-lift ni Ate Aiza. So, yeah, point goes to the Army.
And she knew the moment she had contact with that ball.
Yeah, the reaction said it all.
Sae trying to get that one through, but Nunag read that well. Momo with her own version of a tip.
Another beach volleyball
Trick.
Yeah, stop. Mitch Morente. Oh, what a dig. Look at that save.
Pancake coming from Nunag. Sabete will try to answer back because so far Army's going for a run, but she returns it back again as Army tries to recuperate.
Sabete using the hands of the block. Scored on point. Nakuha naman yung dig pero nagkaroon lang ng konting miscommunication on the part of the Army.
Now she marches to the service line. Straight to Nunag. Perez goes up to Morente through the blockers. They do get a check.
Rinig na rinig in check ball. That's another specialty of Mitch Morente since her Ateneo days.
So
Hahanapin niya.
early years in the collegiate. There you
Yeah.
see it.
Hahanapin niya talaga yung kamay, use it to score a point. Classic Mitch Morente move.
Morente with the jump float. Oh! Lucky break there for Mitch Morente. Back-to-back points.
This conference, we're seeing her with a new look at the service line, no? Jump serve for this conference. Si Momo Morente. And it shows na pinag-practicean talaga niya during the off-season.
Saw it on her social media. It's really something that she is working on this conference. They go up to Pablo on the side of PETRO GAZZ. That is too long. And this is now a tight ball game-ish.
Long contact there from Myla Pablo off of an out-of-system play.
So it's 9-all. Mitch Morente continues to serve. She had 2 already. Another sharp serve there. Saet tipping it, trying to find the line there, but that is wide. Army now with their own run here. And forcing Coach Arnold to call timeout. Let's listen in.
Okay, so huwag lang na ipapako yung pa para pagka maka-short, pwede tayo mapa-forward. Pag long, diba, quick back step. Okay? So yun lang, palobo yung service. Sige, pagka good pass, di tuloy mas. Iba ka na sige. So ka mo na, 4 straight na yata yan, coach, no? Coach Ralph, 4 straight yan.
Coach Arnold pointing out it's 4 straight points for the PETRO GAZZ, for the Army Lady Troopers.
Yeah.
While on our statistics, it's already a 7-1 run. So imagine this was 8-2 or 8-3 rather.
Mitch Morente still on the service line.
With that strong serve, they go to Phillips from the back quick.
MJ Phillips with the help of the tape of the net. We were talking earlier about MJ Phillips
Volunteering to become a middle blocker.
for the middle blocker position. And the last time she played that position, high school pa siya. So imagine, no? Talagang nag-step up siya to the plate, knowing she could contribute for the team. Kasi alam naman natin na marami ring open hitters itong PETRO GAZZ Angels na talaga namang makakatulong din sa kanilang cause. Pero MJ Phillips recognizing the need for another formidable middle blocker. And it's been paying off for her.
It is. It's definitely paying off. She played that starting last open conference and she was the 3rd best scorer of her squad as Myla Pablo finds the line there. Going toe-and-toe here. Early part of this game, we see MJ Phillips on your screen. Marina Pablo, who just scored the last point. Tied at 11 as Cheeside will serve. So PetroGAZZ will be having one of their strongest front lines here, as they have a full front line side with the serve straight to Nunag. Perez does something out of it, but lifting violation, catch and throw will be called against Pablo.
That's the correct call. Another obvious lifting violation on the side of the PetroGAZZ Angels. Ano?
There.
Minsan kapag di naman masyadong halata, pinagbibigyan natin ng mga referees yan eh. Pero yung mga ganong halatang halata, yeah, that's when they decide to call such calls.
This time, back to the ball game. Pontillas going cross court. On the other side, Gonzaga answers back. Lefty to lefty answer here.
Her first powerful hit of the match. Yan, pwedeng beach volleyball smarts, pwedeng indoor volleyball smarts. Pero, you know, Jovelyn Gonzaga to be this powerful of a hitter.
See that full extension, and you already knew eh, pagka elevate.
Yeah, and sa form pa lang ni Gonzaga, alam mo ng puntos.
Pablo will try to answer down the line, popped up by Nunag. Momo goes to Bautista. Bang was there. They go to Rodriguez. Oh! Army unable to handle that one. Army still with the lead here, a single point.
PetroGAZZ scoring off of not so strong hits so far, no? So the Army team needs to mind their floor defense kasi hindi naman masyadong powerful so far yung mga namamatay sa kanilang court.
As we saw the great dig from Shen Cruz, answered back by Morente. Net on that hit. On the other side, back row from Pablo. They go to net again off the hands of the blockers this time. Army going steady here with a 2-point lead.
Villarreal actually off-timed that hit, pero she got a bit lucky. Still scored that point for Team Army.
Maximizing that ball. Side now will set to Rodriguez, popped up by Bautista. Gonzaga, too much muscle in the pass ball.
She was underneath that ball. Pero the intention was there to place it at the back of the court kasi wala rin tao eh. Walang napalakas lang yung top speed ni Jovelyn Gonzaga at that point.
Now it's back to a 1-point game. PetroGAZZ will serve straight to Bautista. Setup coming from Nunag. They go to Morente off the blocker.
Again, cinch. Specialty of the house ni Momo Morente. Yun mo, sinilip niya muna yung blockers niya kung ilan, kung saan nakapwesto, and doon siya nag-decide what kind of a spike gagawin niya. She scored that point for Team Army.
Recognizing, of course, that she had ng Aiza Maiso Pontillas and MJ Phillips up front. Side will now go to Sabete, popped up there by Army. Morente this time again off the block.
Again! Mitch Morente. Ginagamit yung block.
And that is a 3-point lead for Army Black Mamba Energy Drink Lady Troopers. We'll be back here at the PVL Invitational Conference. You're still watching the Premier Volleyball League Invitational Conference. Army going up against our PETRO GAZZ Angels as Iso Maizo Pontillas gets that one right behind the blockers.
Maizo Pontillas adjusting mid-air.
And we see Iris Tolenada here. Of course, she was part of the national team.
Competed in Vietnam.
We last saw her with the F2 Logistics Cargo Movers in the last conference. Of course, they're missing out at the moment because they need more time to prepare. And we await their return here at the PVL. Serve coming from Janelle Cheng as the double substitution comes in from PETRO GAZZ, but the block coming from Ann Esguerra works, maintaining a 3-point lead for Army.
That was a tight set from Ivy Perez. And her teammate quick to respond. Inadjustan niya yung set na yun kasi nakita niya mahirap yung pagkakaset.
This time, Tiamzon tries to get that one through. On the other side, Esguerra tries again. Cheng goes to Sabete down the line, but too much angle there.
Too much juice from Sabete. Ganda yung set from Janelle Cheng pero masyadong hinawi, kumbaga, ni Sabete yung kanyang down the line hit.
She had that right intention. As Gonzaga will now serve. Janelle Cheng goes to Phillips. And that converts to a point.
We can see MJ Phillips getting used to that middle blocker position. Unti-unti nagkakaroon na ng power, kumbaga. And the sense of urgency kapag binigay sa kanya yung set, no, na ay, kailangan kong patayin yung bola pag sa akin sinet.
Morente denied there, but great coverage from Nunag. Pablo, overball on the other side. Perez, 1-2 play.
That perks of a lefty setter. Grabe, pwede nilang gawin yun anytime they want to. So, napakadali for them They just jump quickly and then most likely there really no blockers in front of them.
And they could really do that perfect fake.
Yeah.
As Morente serves, straight to Sabete. Free ball coming from, confusion between Pablo and Pineda.
It's uncharacteristic of both Bam Pineda and Myla Pablo.
This inflates to a 5-point lead in favor of the Army Black Mamba Energy Drink Lady Troopers. Let's listen to the PETRO GAZZ huddle.
Communication, kasi ito, communication. Ang bagal kasi natin mag-react Yung isang kanina overball doon, nasa yung middle natin. Di ba? Tsaka yung sa inyo ni Jonah. Di ba kung inunahan nyo, isa sana natin. Ang tagal natin mag-react sa nangyayari. Kaya sabi ko sa inyo, kanina okay naman yung galaw, pero kulang sa intensity. Spin lang ulit yan ha. Jonah, spin.
Coach Arnold Lanyog highlighting their complacency. Sabi niya, ang bagal natin mag-react and secondly, hindi natin ma-maximize yung ating first balls. So, they have to wake up in this first set if they want to win against Team Army.
And that's going to be the challenge for his squad today as Gonzaga goes long on that hit.
Nabanggit din niya na let's be ready for those top spin hits. Kasi yan yung specialty of the house ng Team Army. And sure enough, doon nakarami yung Team Army so far, no? Placement shots, off the block hits. Nothing spectacular so much, but it helps their cause.
First veteran moves also coming from the Army Black Mamba Lady Troopers as we saw Pablo with that hit free ball coming from Gonzaga. They go up to a quick to Rodriguez, finding a perfect spot there.
Speaking of placement shots, Rodriguez, she saw that hole at the end line. Walang tao. That was a great decision coming from Rodriguez.
Phillips now will serve with a 3-point disadvantage. They go up to Bautista on the side of Army. Janelle chooses Pablo off the blockers. Perez tries to get that across right away. Tiamzon will answer back, popped up by Momo, her former teammate. Bautista denied there by Tiamzon. Moriente from the pipe. On the other side, Pablo cross court, popped up by Nunag. Long rally we're having here. Oh, Bautista did not get that ball across.
Straight to the net. Nene Bautista. That was a long rally. Nakita tayo na napakaraming magagandang digs from both teams. Pero Nene Bautista, too much. Hawi.
Too much angle on that last hit as Bautista will try again. This time through the blockers, popped up by Rodriguez. Tiamzon with that hit. Bautista again off the hands of Chami. They go up to Tiamzon for the third try. This time it works.
What a set from Janelle Cheng. And of course, Nicole Tiamzon with an exclamation point.
We saw there the lead of Army 5 points earlier, inflated down to 1. Coach Rico calls time.
Palo dun sa open ngayon, hindi naman mapatay sa open. Pwede mo naman patakbuhin to, pa-backwick o patumbayin mo. Ha? Ganun lang. Plankton mo lang, ito. Ikutin mo lang yung papalo.
Isa pa.
Ha?
Silang tayo.
Wag lang isang tao lang papaluin mo. Ano? Diba?
Let's go! Relaxan tayo.
O, lamang pa tayo ng isa. Ha? Hawakan pa natin yan. One tayo. Step pa tayo. Tara.
Coach Rico de Guzman, sabi niya, hanggat maaari, wag lang isang tao ang papaluin mo at bigyan mo ng set. So far, that has been the strategy of Ivy Perez. And he's right, no? She needs to strategize and distribute her sets to her teammates.
Now, Army gets a lucky break there as that serve sails long.
Good timeout. Coach Rico de Guzman.
Interestingly so also, we're seeing both assistant coaches leading the charge for both squads. Coach Rico on the side of Army and Coach Arnold on the side of PETRO GAZZ as Pablo with a strong hit popped up by Esguerra. On the other side, Bautista quite under the ball there.
Nene Bautista underneath that ball. Mahirap din talaga gawan ng paraan and paluin pa ng malakas yung mga ganong out of system plays. Pero sabi nga ng mga coaches natin, no, maraming pwedeng mangyari pag pinasok mo pa yung palo mo o yung spin mo, ma-over mo sa kabila. Pwede pa silang mag-error, pwede pa kayo makablock. So, they have to be mindful of those errors.
But this time, Perez trying to get that one through, and Aiza Padrillas gets it through. Just checked in, Royce Tobino. Let's see that again.
Sabi niya, kaya ko rin gawin yan. I can also use the hands of the blockers.
And you got a point. Earlier, she's been the one being utilized by Moriente as Villarreal goes cross-court with that runner.
That was a nice set from Ivy Perez to Villarreal. Only one blocker in front of her.
Great decision there coming from Ivy Perez. Army now up by 1 point.
Crucial junction of the first set. Let's see who wins this set.
Perez on the serve, popped up by Pontillas. They go up to a differential play. Overball from Pontillas. Gonzaga.
Cinch!
Too hot there on that last hit.
Makikita mo pa lang sa approach, sa form, sa power. Look at that hit from Jovelyn Gonzaga.
She folded herself like an origami.
Nakita niya yung butas sa gitna ng blockers Dinikdik niya doon and scored that point for Team Army.
Of course, unsurprising from the bionic Elonga herself as Pablo will try to steer up her wins. Tip coming from Tobino. On the other side, Pablo again. Tip. Perez goes up to Moriente from the back row. On the other side, Pineda Chooses Pablo on the third try this time. She gets through.
Great hit from Myla Pablo. Nakita niya yung mga long hits niya na didepensahan ng Team Army. And she went for that gamble and took an angle. Walang tao. Ivy Perez was not ready for that hit.
Great anticipation there coming from Myla Pablo as now she is at the service line with 4 big points under her name. Perez goes up to Gonzaga.
Again, the Bionic Ilongga recognizing she has a couple of blockers in front of her, so might as well use them as well. And again, another point from the Bionic Ilongga, Jovelyn Gonzaga.
I asked her earlier, hindi ka ba napapagod? Sabi niya, hindi pwedeng ipahalatang napapagod ako. As Royce Tabina serves, they go to Sabete. Free ball coming from Army. They go up to Aiza. Moriente returns it. Sabete unable to get that one through. 4 touches will be called against Petrogas. And Army Black Mamba Energy Drink Lady Troopers get set number 1 with a 3-point margin.
That defense at the net and on the floor, yun yung nagdala sa Team Army to help them take the set 25-22 against the Petrogas Angels.
Don't go away, we'll be back here at the PVL. You're still watching the Premier Volleyball League Invitational Conference. 25-22 was the end of set number 1 as Army snatched that away from Petrogas. They went toe-in-toe in the early part of the set. Later on, Army had the lead, pulled away, and then they maintained the lead till the end of set number 1.
Yes, Jin, nakita natin, Team Army didn't do anything spectacular, but they were smart with those hits, off the block hits. Their defense was solid. Sometimes that's what you gotta do, no? Follow your game plan, dumepensa ng maayos, be quick off the feet, and maset, magkaroon ng opportunities to score points for your team, and that's what they did. That's what Jovelyn Gonzaga and Michelle Morente did in that second set. Set number 1, statistics. 15 attack points for Team Army, 16 for the Petrogas Angels. Blocks tied at 1 apiece. Service aces, 1 for Army and none for Petrogas Angels. Opponent errors, 8 ang binigay ng Petrogas Angels at 5 naman
Doon
ang binigay.
nagkatalo.
Yes, ng Team Army.
It was those errors that helped Army bolster themselves to win in set number 1.
Especially in the latter part, doon medyo lumayo yung Team Army. Nabanggit mo kanina, they were toe-to-toe at the beginning of that first set.
Now we start a new frame here as Ivy Perez serves and gets a service ace.
Good start for Team Army. That was a loaded serve. coming from Ivy Perez. She's also known for that. Actually, a lot of setters are known for our loaded serves.
I heard from a setter, they mentioned that they do that kasi nga tatakbo pa sila papasok to
Yeah.
para humabol sa setting as Chisayet goes to the middle to Rodriguez on the other side to Bino. Trying to get a check there, but no go, says the referee.
Too much power. Royce Tubino looking for a check ball, pero masyadong malayo yung kanyang pan.
So start on 1 point each here in set number 2. Pablo will be serving for PETRO GAZZ. Straight to Nunag. Perez goes to that quick to net.
That was well read by Aiza Pontillas. The form of Ivy Perez, nakita mo na na isa-set niya sa harapan kay Villarreal, and Aiza Pontillas quick to recognize that set.
Pablo now continues to serve. That is too long. Well recognized there by Jelay Nunag.
She served that ball right away. Pagkapito ng ating first referee, she served right away. Resulted to a service error.
Tubino will now serve for Army. Saet goes up to Rodriguez, this time with more muscle.
Malakas yung palo this time ni Rodriguez. Earlier in the first set, nakita natin, no? Placement shots from her.
And speaking of placements, let's go on court side with our insider, Sam Corrales.
For the Bionic Ilongga, it's experience over fear, and her transition from the sand to the indoor volleyball court definitely helped her add more weapons in her arsenal. Jovelyn Gonzaga told me that she's not getting as much jitters as compared to before, and that's because she believes that the confidence will really come from training. Now she hopes to share this mindset to her teammates as well this conference as they try to improve on staying strong, especially in the end game, just like set number 1. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Sam, and that's really what Joe has been saying all along. Sabi niya, walang pahinga-pahinga, laban kung laban, and she's leading by example as the team captain of the Army Black Mamba Energy Drink Lady Troopers as Aiza Pontillas answers back for PETRO GAZZ.
Aiza finding the open spot in the zone 5. Another specialty of the house from Aiza Pontillas.
However, she'll now be on the service line for the Angels. Popped up by Moriente. They go up to Gonzaga, off the blockers.
Off the block, Job Gonzaga. You could see and hear from the stands, no? Nagpalakpak muna siya. Ivy, I want that set. Huwag ka mag-alala. I'll give this point towards me. Sure enough, she did.
And she did get it. But this time, answering back is MJ Phillips for PETRO GAZZ. So, we're getting fired up hits here from both sides of the court. Easily converting to points. Gonzaga will now serve for Army. Popped up by Pineda. Running Phillips. Oh!
Nauna si MJ Phillips. That was also a difficult set from Chisayet. Underhand, back, running set. Of course, you'd have to adjust when the ball comes to you. Unfortunately, MJ Phillips wasn't able to.
She tried to make do, however, it doesn't pass on to the other side as Chamzon popped up by Nunag. Drop ball from Perez. Hit coming from Saet. They go to Moriente. Saet now goes so quick. Phillips is denied. Gonzaga will set up Esguerra, denied by Phillips again. Moriente this time going down the line, and she does get a point.
Lucky break for Team Army. That hit went wide already. But Chisayet, yeah, it was Chisayet who had a net violation.
3-point lead for Army Black Mamba. Gonzaga straight to Pablo. With that serve, Chamzon will try to convert. Popped up there as Ivy Carrizo scores, returned by Phillips. Morente adjusting. This time, that one goes long.
What a save though from John Gonzaga. Kamanila ng palo sa Nick Morente, giving that point to the Pendergast Angels.
Chami for the serve. Jeloy was there. They go to Esguerra. That is off the block. And that gives Army Black Mamba Energy Drink a 3-point advantage here at the second set. We'll be back after the short break. You're still watching the Premier Volleyball League Invitational Conference. Sinjan Reyes with Ish Polvorosa as Mitch Morente serves for Army. Straight to Pontillas. They go to Pablo. Popped up by Morente. Gonzaga adjusts in midair. Pablo will answer back. Denied there by the blockers of Army. Pablo again on the second try. Morente was there for coverage. They go up to Tobino. Pablo to cover. Long rally we have here. As Esguerra ends things for Black Mamba Army.
Team Army. Sinipagan lang yung point na yan, no? Not letting any ball drop on the floor. Resorting to that quick hit. Puntos para sa Team Army.
Now, PetroGAZZ will change guards as Janelle Cheng will come in and Mitch Morente will serve on the other side of the court. Morente now with 6 points, 5 on attacks, 1 on an ace. Let's see if she'll get another one. Oh! This time it goes straight to the net.
Low contact on the service line from Mitch Morente.
It's a 3-point lead for Army that PetroGAZZ is trying to extinguish. Perez makes it back to a 4-point advantage.
I think that's the second time Ivy Perez scored off that hit. Second ball, 1-2 play. Nice cross-court kick.
Same sweet spot there.
Yeah.
Serving now is Ann Esguerra of Army. Free game for PetroGAZZ.
They give another point to the PetroGAZZ Angels. Back-to-back service errors for them. Here was Mitch Morente.
As we see the sister of Janelle Cheng inside the court from the game earlier. Des Cheng, of course. You just tuned in. Earlier today, right before this game, Chocomucho was unable to win their match against Signal. Signal surviving that 5-setter.
Come from behind win. The Signal HD Spikers.
They were down by 2 sets, and they were able to
Snatch that game.
yeah, sweep it right under the rug, as they say. Ivy there with that serve. Pontillas trying to get that one through. Villarreal will try to go back-to-back, but this time that's too long.
Oh, referees are talking. He's now going to call the linesman who called it an off-the-block point for Villarreal. We'll see what the call will be.
Wait for the first referee. Oh, point will be awarded.
There was a check ball. That point will go to Team Army, courtesy of Villarreal. You can see now, Ivy Perez now maximizing the middle spikes.
And that will cause a timeout for the PETRO GAZZ Angels as they want to fix things over on their side. Let's listen in.
Sabi kasi wala tayong intensity talaga eh. Sila napaka-basic lang ng ginagawa nila. Tapos, yung parang hindi tayo kanya-kanya pero hindi pa tayo nagko-connect dyan sa loob eh. Ano ba gusto natin mangyari dyan sa loob? Connect tayo. Gawin lang muna natin yung trabaho natin sa loob. Yung responsibility natin. One point at a time.
Usap lang sila natin. Go. Guys, Angels!
Okay, minute.
Coach Arnold pointing out the elephant in the room. The Angels are lacking intensity here to fly high and soar past the Black Mamba Army Lady Troopers.
This is not the same PETRO GAZZ Angels that we saw in their last match against the Creamline Pool Smashers.
And it's interesting because when I asked the Angels what they prepared for, they said they were preparing for a positive mindset in this game and of course fixing their defense pattern inside the court. But that seems to be the trouble on their side as we saw a strong hit coming from Pablo. Free ball coming from Gonzaga. Very high ball there. Cheng goes up to Pablo again this time. Pablo finds the line.
Finally maximizing that free ball. He's been given a lot of free balls so far in this match. And few of them gets converted to a point. So, good point right there from Myla Pablo.
Lead is down to 4. Army now with 7 attack points already. Meanwhile, PETRO GAZZ with just 3 in this match. They go up to net. That's popped up. A pipe play coming from Pablo. On the other side, Nunag goes up to Gonzaga off the blockers.
That was an opportunity sana for the PETRO GAZZ Angels to restart the point because maganda yung pagkakatouch ng block. It wasn't a strong hit from Job Gonzaga. They weren't able to dig that properly and convert it to a point.
No one was in the right position to get that ricochet as we see this double quick with Pontillas getting it through. Back row from Tobino. Bang, goes up to Pontillas, will try again. This time, stronger hit popped up by Tobino. Gonzaga will answer back off the blockers.
Again, Jovelyn Gonzaga off of that block. Makikita mo sa body language ng Team Army, they really want to win this match against the PETRO GAZZ Angels. Body language says it all. Sabi ni Coach Arnold Lamyog kanina, the intensity of the team ng PETRO GAZZ Angels medyo mababa. So yun yung kailangan nila i-pick up if they want to win this set and eventually this match.
As we see Job Gonzaga swiping it off the hands of the blockers.
3 straight points from her.
And Coach Arnold will use his last time out. Let's listen in.
Nakakapasa naman tayo, hindi naman problema pasa, di ba? Ba't di tayo ma-convert? Diba? Gano'n ba natin ka gusto pumalo ng patay? O, tapos yung hinga natin, para di ba, ang bigat. Basta nagagaling yun tayo, gusto, yung ginagawa natin. Okay, back to basic lang muna tayo. Pag naka-receive na, i-basic mo na lang muna siya. Kaya kanina ko pa hinahanap yung first hit intensity natin. Para wala tayong direction dyan sa loob. Diba? Ano gusto nito mangyari? Okay, so hanggang pa na lang muna ang trabaho natin. Ang pasa hindi problema, nadadala sa setter. So discarte yan mo. Pag binigay sa inyo, huwag kayong mag-alala. May mga cover naman tayo sa loob. Come on, sell.
PETRO GAZZ recognizing that their squad is scrambling as we see some enlisted officers here inside the court. Watching the game and of course supporting their squad, the Army Black Mamba Energy Drink Lady Troopers. But let's go back to that huddle from Coach Arnold mentioning that they have a good first ball. They just need to maximize it on the setting side. So they're looking for Cheng to just go back to the basics and just like that, after the timeout, Isa Pontillas converts.
Coach Arnold Lanyog also mentioning that timeout. Yung intensity natin na gaano ba natin kagusto na ipuntos yung mga palo natin. The intensity Yun yung kanyang hina-highlight so far in this match. Yun yung wala sa PetroGAZZ Angels. They're playing catch-up right now.
They're down by 6. Morente denied there by the double block of PetroGAZZ. Seems like the Angels woke up after the timeout from Coach Arnold.
The familiar Angels wall. Phillips and Maizo Puntillas with that block.
Five-point lead still for Army. And Rodriguez will try to ice that. On the other side, Gonzaga gets through.
He's doing it all so far with Team Army.
And that gives a 6-point advantage for the Army Black Mamba Energy Drink Lady Troopers. We'll be back here at the PVL. You're still watching the Premier Volleyball League Invitational Conference as we saw Net Villarreal getting a service ace. Pontillas getting that one through, and smart move there coming from Gonzaga. Again, PetroGAZZ scrambling here on their side of the court, giving an 8-point lead to Army.
Too many errors coming from the PetroGAZZ Angels. They're giving it away.
You saw that lucky break for Army there.
Yeah.
Esguerra was turned back already as Villarreal gets another ace here.
9-point lead for Team Army. They're not doing anything
Spectacular. PetroGAZZ looking confused as to how to solve this puzzle.
And the puzzle is their own team. Yun yung sabi ni Coach Arnold Lanyog. Kailangan natin ayusin yung kilos natin. Kailangan natin i-up yung intensity.
As we saw Jovelyn Gonzaga in this replay, that perfect approach from the lefty bionic Ilongga.
Yeah. The body language of Gonzaga says it all.
So far in attack points, 13 for Army, 4 for PetroGAZZ. Chami will try to add one more, denied there by the blockers. They go up to Pontillas. That tip works to the disappointment of Jovelyn Gonzaga pounding the floor.
She knew she was at the right place. Nabasa niya yung drop ball na yun eh.
Unfortunately, the trajectory of the ball led to a different angle as the serve comes from PetroGAZZ. They go to a quick, be quick from Esguerra is foiled. Chami will answer back. Perez goes up to Morente through the blockers using the hands of Cheng.
And using the block. Michelle Morente right there. They're playing confident volleyball here, Sings. They know they have the momentum and they want to keep it all coming for the team.
Gonzaga will now serve. They go up to Chamzon on the other side. Dump ball coming from Perez. Free ball from PetroGAZZ. Perez Sets up Moriente. Denied by the block. Coverage was there. Pick up to Gonzaga from the pipe, but that is going wide.
Too much angle from Jovelyn Gonzaga. Actually had the right intention to hit that spike down the line.
PETRO GAZZ catching up here and playing catch up with a 9-point disadvantage. Jonas Abete injected back in. Serves. Popped up by Nunag. Dump from Perez. Pablo under the ball, trying to look for a check. Let's see. No go. That will be out. This inflates to a 10-point lead. Let's see that again.
Ooh. Cinch.
Well, we have, of course, the advantage of the replay, but that's a judgment call coming from our officials. Moriente will serve. They go up to Pablo, denied by the blockers. Pablo again on the second try. Read by Jove. They go to Tobino. Bang was there. Great coverage on both sides of the court. Ball's being popped up as the regalo is awarded to Phillips.
Early Christmas for MJ Phillips. They're down 9 points here in the second set.
Well, we're seeing some Christmas colors up the court. Red and green. Perez now goes it back quick, and Esguerra converts.
Simple and confident volleyball so far for Team Army. Nothing spectacular. Just receive the balls properly, defend properly, bigyan ng opportunities yung spikers to score, and so far, it's been working for Team Army.
Coach Rico wants some assurance, injecting in their service specialist, Jem Gutierrez. And well, so PETRO GAZZ gives up a free ball. Another attack coming from Ivy. Perez gives a set-point advantage to the Army Black Mamba Energy Drink Lady Troopers.
Tallying her third 1-2 play. Pangatlong puntos niya na yon in this matchup.
Gutierrez will serve again for Army. Ooh, sharp serve. They go to Pablo, off the blockers. Gonzaga's there for coverage. Straight to Tobino. Popped up by Sabete. Pablo again. PETRO GAZZ still alive here. They have 10 set points to play perfectly. Let's see that again.
Perfectly. And that's a mountain to climb, Sim.
Janelle Cheng will now be on the service line-ish. Straight to Moriente on that serve. They go up to a differential play, but that is denied by PETRO GAZZ. PETRO GAZZ starting to get fired up here.
Bahay na Pablo. Hindi na siya gumalaw dun eh. Sakto sa kanya yung set. And she just blocked that spike.
PETRO GAZZ maximizing their net advantage this time. Getting that double block, and Coach Rico will be forced to call timeout as this lead has deflated to 8 from 10. Let's listen in.
Doon dalawa nakapahin. Paluin mo sa pinakamataas. Huwag mong persahin. Katulad ginagawa natin kanina, oh. Kahit may na lang, pero mataas ang contact sa bola. Okay, 20/16 nila, isa na lang puntos. Isang magandang pasa. AB, pagka may na yung service, iwanto nyo na. Pag iwanto, ha? Tingnan nyo mabuti, pero pag sumaba yung gitna, pwede mo na iba to dito, kaya dito sa...
Panghingi, mga.
Okay, sige.
Last na kayo sa Last tayo! Last one!
Coach Rico trying to ice out this catch-up that PETRO GAZZ is doing here on their side of the court. But they still have 8 set points to play here, so it's going to be a challenge for the Angels. Serve coming from Cheng. Moriente was there. Dump ball coming from Perez. Oh! And Petrogas unable to keep that ball alive. Set number 2 ends 25-16 in favor of the Army Black Mamba Energy Drink Lady Troopers. They're up 2-0. We'll be back here at the PVL. You're also watching the Premier Volleyball League Invitational Conference. 2 sets up are the Army Black Mamba Energy Drink Lady Troopers. Set number 2 was very different from set number 1. The Army was taking control of that full set. Petrogas tried to challenge things up, but the Army's attack points were just too strong. As Coach Arnold Danyog put it blatantly, Petrogas lack the intensity that they usually have in matches. So this time it's going to be do or die moments for the Angels if they want to stay alive and have a chance to get this win. Meanwhile, Army just needs this set to close it out. As we look at the statistics on attack points, Army led by 10 big attack points over Petrogas 17-7 blocks. Petrogas led that with 4-0. Meanwhile, service aces, Army still led that, but we're tied in opponent's error. So it's really the attack points and the service aces on the side of the Army Black Mamba Energy Drink Lady Troopers. They've been doing great serves. Meanwhile, Petrogas is having trouble getting that first ball up properly as set number 3 commences with Janelle Cheng on the service line. Straight to Moriente over receive. Denied there by Pablo. Free ball from Gonzaga. Maizo on that drop.
Maizo Pontillas. She saw that hole behind the blockers of Team Army and scored the first point for the Petrogas Angels.
Janelle on the serve. Straight to Moriente. They go up to a running Villarreal. This time that goes wide. Petrogas starting it off hot here.
Sinjin, now we can see the energy and the intensity that Coach Arnold is looking from the team.
Net tried again. This time Nang tried to go put it across as the pancakes don't work for Petrogas, giving Army their first point.
Maiza Pontillas a bit slow to react on that drop ball from Ivy Perez.
1 point game in favor of Petrogas this time. Ivy on the serve. Popped up by Pontillas. Rodriguez. Popped up by Moriente. They go to a tip to Gonzaga. Petrogas keeps the ball alive. Gonzaga this time with more muscle off the hands of Cheng.
Jovelyn Gonzaga, yet another powerful cross-court hit. Siyang nagbubuhay sa game na ito. Sa Team Army, and alam niya siya ang aasahan for today's game, and nagpa-perform siya up to her standards.
Perez there with that serve. They go to Pablo on the other side of the court. Nunag goes to Gonzaga. Denied with the block. Tobino will try. Popped up by Pineda. Nang adjust. Overball. On the other side, Tobino. Cross court. Popped up by Pontillas. Pablo. We're seeing soft touches in the longer rally here. Teams being more strategic. Gonzaga changes things up and goes cross court. Army now up by 1 as we go to our insider, Sam Corrales.
Mitch Morente sharpened her skills and invested more in her body heading into this conference. Mitch told me that Coach Kung Fu told her to stay ready because the team will always be there for her. But for sure, Michelle did not take that word for granted. She told me that she hired an extra strength and conditioning coach during the off-season. And aside from that, she's been working on her nutrition, cutting out sweets from her diet for about 2 months already. Now, I want to ask the panel, do you think Mitch Morente's sacrifice and dedication so far are paying off for Team Army? Back to you.
Well, Sam, it's paying off for her squad right now as her support helps this squad leading 2 sets to none. Of course, Mitch Morente was the second best scorer of her squad, 36th overall in scoring in the previous conference. As Army now up by 2 points after that report from Sam.
Mitch Morente contributing a lot to her team, especially in this match. Nakita naman natin since, no?
It's not just the scoring skills, of course. The non-scoring skills also playing a big factor as they get a freebie on that last play, and Coach Arnold will call time here.
I-basic mo na lang ako, pwede mo na lang i-combination to. Tapos iwan na lang si Myla kanina, nakakapatay tayo sa sharp cross mo. Okay. Okay. Yung kanina, delay ka na, yung dito. Di ba, pinakis natin kanina, sharp cross. Hindi mo tinumba yung kanan. Doon, umalo, nakaganon pa yung kamay mo. Kapag out of system, i-press mo talaga yung katawan. Okay, wasa pagkanta, wasa pagkanta.
PETRO GAZZ, Angels,
Coach Arnold reminding his squad rather to focus and to go back to the basics. They've been getting points earlier at the tail end of that second set with isolating Myla, giving her the runway to score on their side of the court as Ivy Perez serves for Army.
6 points already for Ivy Perez.
Great outing for a setter.
Yeah.
They go to Villarreal. Pontillas dumps it to the other side. Perez goes to net again. This time, Pontillas too strong to handle for Nunag.
11 point for Aiza Pontillas with a down the line hit. The experience. Wala na eh. Vertical jump na lang. She saw that hole.
Recognizing that seam, of course, between the blocker and the antenna. As Gonzaga hitting from the open side. Staying at the open side. Pontillas getting back-to-back points.
2 straight points for her. Cinch.
PETRO GAZZ now starting feeling alive here. Starting to feel alive here.
Feeling the zhuzh. 12 points for Vaizo Pontillas. Siya lang yung double digits so far dito sa ating PETRO GAZZ Angels.
As we saw Pablo had 7 points in this ball game already. She gives up a freebie. Giving a 2-point lead again to Army. Tobino will serve. They go up to Pontillas. Great anticipation there from Perez. Sabete, that doesn't go through.
Again, the floor defense of Team Army today. They're not letting a lot of balls drop their court. And yun talaga yung
Bread and butter nila.
bread and butter nila in this matchup against the PETRO GAZZ Angels. And ang laking tulong.
And it's interesting because the coaching staff mentioned earlier that it was blocking. That was the focal point of their last training as we saw this drop ball coming from Aiza Pontillas.
She needs some help, Sinch. Hindi pwedeng lahat ay kay Aiza Pontillas lamang. Kasi they have to win this set in order to survive.
And probably extend this.
Probably extend this.
Marian Burrite there with that serve, but Morente with a counter attack, bringing Black Mamba Army to a 3-point advantage here. We'll be back here at the Premier Volleyball League Invitational Conference. It's 8-5 in favor of the Army Black Mamba Energy Drink Lady Troopers. They're 2 sets ahead, and so far in attack points, Army has 5, PETRO GAZZ has 3. Serve coming from Net Villarreal. Aiza Maizo with that hit. Oh, nalunod.
Miscommunication on the part of Team Army.
Jovelyn playing center there on that last play.
Yeah. Jovelyn Gonzaga with 16 excellent digs. Agno with 13, Michelle Morente with 10.
It's like
Double
having
digits.
three liberos on your backcourt as Esquerra goes a bit wide here.
Yun talaga yung nakatulong sa kanila so far. Their digging, their defense, their first balls, very consistent in this matchup against the PETRO GAZZ Angels.
Pontillas, 13 big points, 11 on attacks, 2 on blocks. Serves straight to Morente. Esguerra tries again, popped up by Pontillas. Palma, who is back in the court now. Probably to bring in that intensity, scores. See that again. Look at that counter attack.
Bringing some intensity for PETRO GAZZ Angels.
Perez goes up to Morente. Off the blockers.
Again, Sinch. Michelle Morente using that block. That's her bread and butter today.
That's return on investment na yan by this time as Gonzaga will serve. 13 points all on attacks. That goes straight to the Tena. 3 point in favor of PETRO GAZZ, tied at 9.
It's a close third set. Sin, that second set, medyo malayo yung lamang ng Army, but as we can see right now, we're tied at 9 in this third set.
Oh! But just as you say that, Morente shows up and shows us that she could go through the block too, not just off the block.
Gets it back for Team Army. Nakita niya yung seam in between those two blockers. Now she's on the service line for Team Army.
Of course, she'll be contributing there. You've mentioned the number of digs that she's had.
Yeah.
As Pontillas from the back row popped up by Nunag. Gonzaga from the pipe. They go to Palma. Morente was there on cue. Tobino. Connected with the blockers. Coverage was there. Great coverage on the side of Army. On the other side, Pablo will answer back. Popped up by Morente. They are able to manage that ball.
Almost a save from Team Army. Nandun pa rin Special Morente, Sinje. Diba? Napwestohan niya pa rin yung malakas na open hit ni Myla Pablo.
At grabe yung reaction time nitong Army Lady Troopers. It's 10-all. And Rem Palma will be serving. You know, we don't see her at the starting lineup because she just came back, of course. She got under the weather a bit for a while. Now, going to recovery. We're seeing a renewed Rem Palma as the serve goes straight to Morente over receive, and Ivy Perez pushes it to the other side.
Ivy Perez using her right hand there for that tip. And we all know she's a lefty, so that was a bit of a hard
Challenging,
and challenging drop ball for her.
napalakas ng konti, of course. Palma continues to serve. Straight to Gonzaga this time. Esguerra denied by the double block. Courtesy of Buite and Pablo. Petro GAZZ starting to feel more alive here.
We're now seeing a different set of middle blockers for the Petro GAZZ Angels. Remy Palma and Buitre.
And this might just be the spark that Coach
Yes.
Arnold needs to fire up the intensity on their side of the court. Let's see what Army will do. Tobino through the blockers. Ball is still alive. Free ball coming from Potillas. They go up to Tobino again. This time soft touch. Redwell. And dumped by Cheng. And dumped from Perez. Pablo finding the line. Petro GAZZ taking their own set of points here. They're up by 3, and Coach Rico will call timeout. Let's listen in.
Huwag mong laruin. Ngayon, gawin mong decoy lang to. Alam mo nang tumakbo siya dito. Nandito ka. Nandito player na tumakbo na siya dito. Dalawa na yung blocker mo dito. I-jump set mo lang. Sasabay na ito eh. Pato mo lang open. Ngayon, binato mo na ng open. Dalawa na yung blocker natin kan. Sabi ko nga sa'yo, mag-connect kayo dito. Huwag yung isang tao lang ang tinitingnan mo. Ngayon, pag ganahin mo yung blocker sa kabila, pag ito tumalon, pag nakita mong bumlock yung nasa kabila, no, di saka mo bato ng open, eh hindi pa tumatalon yung blocker sa kabila, binibigay mo na dito eh.
Pwede tayo magpalikot ng tao. Pwede tayo mag-adjust ng basta.
Let's see that last point again. Myla Pablo outsmarting her former collegiate teammate in Ivy Perez.
Yeah.
Of course, both are Lady Bulldogs. Found their squad is back in the podium after 65 years. But let's just consider what's the mindset here on the side of Army. It has been an 8-2 run in favor of the Petro GAZZ Angels. So it's really time to call the alarm as Tobino tries to go through. This time, she gets a check out.
Using the hands of Janelle Cheng at that point.
See that again.
Oh, that's off of Buitre's block.
It's off of Mabu.
Yeah.
So it's now a 2-point disadvantage that Army is trying to erase as Esguerra serves. Pineda was there. They go to Pablo. What a hit from Myla Pablo.
Partial dog. Initial Morente. But that was just too strong. Myla Pablo coming alive in this third set. And she has to if they want to win this set and extend this match.
Nunag popped up that serve. Tobino goes through the block. Pontillas adjusts. They got to Pontillas again. This time soft touch. Perez sets up Gonzaga off speed. Petro GAZZ plays catch up. Will they get through? No go. That's too short.
Yeah. The effort was there, but Bang Pineda running for that ball. Medyo mahirap din gawin yun eh. Lalo na kapag galing ka pa sa loob ng court, mas malayo yung habol mo.
Palikod pa yung
Yes.
bato. Serve from Perez. Straight to Pontillas. They go up to Pablo. Popped up by Nunag. Nunag reading that down the line well. And Tobino getting a check. This is now a 1-point game. Army simply extinguishing the fire and intensity of PetroGAZZ after the timeout.
And that's what they're doing again. No? Just keep the ball alive. Bigyan natin ng chance yung spikers natin to score a point. And that's what they did in those last 3 points.
But this time, Pontillas changes things up with a differential play from the middle.
The lone double-digit scorer so far for Team PetroGAZZ Angels. Aiza Maizo Pontillas.
They get back a 2-point advantage as Pablo serves. Gonzaga answers back through the blockers.
Correct that, no? Myla Pablo. Also the double-digit. 11 points already in this match. Jov Gonzaga again using the block.
That gives PetroGAZZ a 2-point advantage as we enter the second technical timeout, 16-14.
We are back here. Their defense and their first balls so far and going to waste. Can't convert the points. Back set to Jovelyn Gonzaga. Chance ball now for Team Army. Again, Gonzaga. But Maizo Pontillas again, back-to-back points for the PetroGAZZ Angels. Now they lead 18-14.
4-point advantage for the Angels so far as their intensity and attentiveness inside, alertness inside the court starts to swell. We go up to Gonzaga on the side of Army. Pontillas sets up Sabeto. Villarreal answered back by another Camarao.
We have 3 spark plugs for the PetroGAZZ Angels. Lenny Palma, Buitre, and Janelle Cheng coming in for Team PetroGAZZ Angels.
And now, Coach Rico has to call time. Let's listen in.
Kung ang ganun lang gagawin ng wicket mo, puro A lang ng A. Hindi magbabago yung isip ng kabila. Babantayan yan. Pwede mo itong pabihin, pwede mo itong patrisin. Saka iba mo naman dito si Jovelyn sa 5. Baguhin mo si Jovelyn, uli siya sa 4. Ha? O kaya pwede mo siyang si Jovelyn ng patrisin mo. Kung ito ay patakbuhin mo si Jovelyn ng 3. Diba meron tayong ganun? Ganun lang. Wag lang si Jovelyn, 4 lagi. Huli na siya doon.
Coach Rico looking for that discarte on the side of Ivy Perez.
Kanina niya pa instructions yan to his set to distribute the ball properly. Tignan mo muna yung blockers in front. And let's see if i-maximize na yung spikers niya.
Villarreal led well there. Gonzaga from the 5. Sabete through the blockers. Free ball from Army. Army now starting to look like they're scrambling as Rem Palma finds the donut hole.
Again, Remy Palma coming alive for Team PETRO GAZZ Angels. To the rescue, si Rem Palma. I think that's 3 straight points for her. 2 from attacks and 1 from a block. Remy Palma,
This is a 6-point lead now for PETRO GAZZ.
the biggest of the game for PETRO GAZZ Angels.
But Jovelyn Gonzaga says no, trimming it down to 5. See that again. Gonzaga going cross-court, finding that sweet spot right behind the defenders of PETRO GAZZ. As Guerra serves, they go up to Sabete. On the other side, Esguerra. Or rather, that was Ate Ging with a serve. Free ball from Ging. Double quick works for Palma and Pontillas.
Maiso Puntillas. Yet another point for the PETRO GAZZ Angels.
Cheng having an enjoyable time here.
He's also been
Executing
one
that
of the
play.
spark plugs for this team, Sin.
And this time, double substitution for Coach Arnold Lanyog as he inserts team captain Chisayat and Nicole Chamzon. Morente off the hands of Pineda.
Strong hit coming from Michelle Morente. Hindi na pwestohan na maayos doon ni Bang Pineda.
It is now a 5-point game. Gonzaga with that serve off the hands of Sabete. Back-to-back points for Army. They're still alive here. It's down to a 4-point lead.
The first ace for Jovelyn Gonzaga and her 17th point, Sinjin.
On the other side, Morente again through the blockers. This time with coverage. Courtesy of Saet. Sabete again, popped up by Tubino. Back row hit coming from Gonzaga. They go to Chanzon. Denied by the block. We have a long rally here. Palma overcooking that one.
Off time got set.
This time, the lead is down to 2, and Coach Arnold has to check things out with his team.
Okay, dito na. Ang taas naman ng kamay mo, dito.
Sobra, yakin!
Dito, bilisan mo na dito sa sharp pro.
Nice!
Ha? Sige. Yung kanina, inaatas ka na ng blocker. Diin mo na. Okay? Okay, pasahin niyo muna, pasahin niyo muna.
Sige ha, push pa tayo ate. Kunti na lang yan.
Nasaan ka ba? Nandiyan? Yes, subukan mo nga kahit yung running back shot mo. Pwede ka mag-3 na si Chami doon. Ito naman yung pasok.
Okay, let's go to our tweets after the timeout. Who do you think will be our leading scorer in this match? Let's see if your guesses are right. Sung-Hoon Park says, I think Pablo will be the leading scorer because she is very good. She is a very smart player. Go Angels, go get that first win. And on the other side of the court, Jake Woni says, I think the leading scorers from both teams will be Jovelyn Gonzaga and Aiza Maiso Pontillas. So,
yeah, Jake is right.
Yeah.
So far, they're the leading scorers for the PETRO GAZZ Angels and Team Army.
are the two lefty opposite hitters.
Yes.
It's a great call there as PETRO GAZZ gets an ace here. After the timeout, they convert and they regain a 4-point lead here on the side of the Angels.
That was a lucky break, Sinj. From Sabete. Nakakahabol na kanina yung Army eh. Just 2-point lead for the PETRO GAZZ Angels, but now they're looking to steal this set.
This time, Agnes Guerra has something to say about that. Bring down that lead to 3. The timeout by Coach Arnold must have been perfect to ice things out, but Army has other plans. They want to go home early.
Ivy Perez on cue. Sabi ni Coach Rico, i-distribute mo yung bola. Kaya ng spikers natin yan. Kailangan malito rin yung blockers ng kalaban.
Oh, but this one's gonna be costly. Morentes serving it straight to the net.
Coach Rico cannot believe it.
Petrogas with 4 set points here at the 3rd set. Rem Palma serving for the Angels and for the set. Straight to Gonzaga. Dump coming from Perez. Buite sets up Pablo. Denied. Coverage is there. Oh, crossing. Or lifting. Oh, okay. Catch and throw.
It was a lifting ball against, I'm not sure. Was it Buitre or Pablo? Oh, Remy Palma. That was a tough call. That's a judgment call, Saints.
Very tough call from our referees here. 3-point lead for the Angels as Gutierrez serves. Diot to Pablo off the blockers. Petrogas stays alive and extends this. The 4th set, will they be able to extend this to the decider? We'll find out later on, but let's look at this highlight. Hit coming from Myla Pablo, getting that win for the 3rd set for the Petrogas Angels. Army, 2 sets up. Petrogas 1 set, 25-21. We'll be back here at the Premier Volleyball League. It's the 4th set of the Premier Volleyball League Invitational Conference match between the Petrogas Angels and the Black Mamba Army Lady Troopers. Set number 3 was snatched by the Petrogas Angels, getting that away from the Lady Troopers. They tried to catch up, but then at the tail end, Petrogas just got it all. Now we enter set number 4 as we see the statistics-ish.
Set number 3 stats for Team Army and Petrogas. Attacks 15 apiece, blocks 2 for Petrogas Angels, 1 for Team Army, service aces 1 apiece, opponent errors 4 for Team Army and 7 for the Petrogas Angels.
So it was a higher risk set for Army, giving up more free points to the Angels, but that helped the Angels get that set number 3. We start off set number 4 rather, as 1 point ahead is the Lady Troopers, and Petrogas ties the game up 1-all.
You can see the Petrogas Angels. So in this game, at first, medyo mabagal sila kanina eh. Pero in that third set nakita natin yung hinahanap ni coach na intensity, yun ang nagkaroon sila and they were able to win that third set.
They hustled their way to the win in that last set as Morente hits from the pipe. We're seeing stronger hits and the longer rallies here. We've mentioned this at the top of the coverage. It feels like do-or-die moments as we go to our segment host, Sam Corrales.
It's work smart, not hard for one of the newest additions to Petrogas, Marian Buitre. And this is the mindset that she's learning from one of the veterans in the Angels team, talking about Gretchel Soltones. Now, Marian admitted na nangangapa pa siya with the new squad and the new members, especially since they have proven to be finals contenders. In fact, Marian only found out that she made it to the team about a week before this conference. But Marian told me that she's looking forward to having more growth in her new home with the Angels. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Sam. And yes, we saw that on social media. She's been very active. She's been training with her former teammate, Jamie La Victoria. And we see how much she's been a spark off the bench here for Coach Arnold as she tries to get that one through. Good ball there. Ooh. Army up by 2 points here as Petrogas catches up. Courtesy of
what a sequence there for the Petrogas Angels. Aiza Maizo Puntillas seeing that hole, and as that ball dropped, Jovelyn Gonzaga reminding her teammates to focus on the ball. That was not a hard hit at all.
You have to stay alert here because it's really Petrogas who is in do-or-die moments, but then they're playing lighter inside the court so far.
Yeah, as you mentioned, that cinch, no?
As you see Gretchel Soltones on your screens, you've mentioned it earlier, she won't be playing yet. Maybe in a week's time we will see her again as Net Villarreal will be serving for Army. Cheng goes up to Pontillas through the blockers.
Yeah. He's been tireless.
Tireless and ageless.
Yeah. Classic Aiza Maizo Puntillas down the line hit at that point.
Buitre will now serve for the Angels. Straight to Gonzaga, over-received, and Sabete goes down the line without Regalo. We're now toe-to-toe at 4.
Marian Buitre on the service line. She was the one who was at the service line when they did that run in the latter part of the third set.
Let's see if she'll be able to replicate that. Oh, what a serve. Over set. Aiza maximizes that. Morente tries again. Paima through the blockers. Gonzaga off speed. Sabete down the line.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's clear double violation.
Well, I will never and not disagree from a 5-time best setter in the UAAP with a call like that.
It was a standing set, a standing still set, both of her feet on the ground, and it was
Hindi balance yung kamay.
now you could see the spin of the ball. There was a lot of spin in that set.
As They rinse with Morente. On the other side, Pontillas.
Sinji, 20 big points for Aiza Maizo Puntillas.
Playing like she's back with the Golden Tigresses, back to her golden age form.
Hitting it down the line, off the block, and that cross court. Wow.
Buite with a serve. Off speed from Morente. On the other side, Sabete trying to find the line or a check ball, but no go.
Worth a try. It looked like there was a check, pero malayo, mataas yung pagkakaspin ni Sabete on that open hit.
It gives a point to Army. They're down by 1. Gonzaga with that serve. And Pontillas getting that off the block.
Again. 21 points for the legend, the living legend, Aiza Maizo Puntillas. This time off the block. What a performance for Nang Aiza.
Okay, but of course she's human as well.
Yeah.
So she gives up a freebie to the Army Lady Troopers. Pero mababawi yan syempre sa,
Of course.
as we see MJ Phillips now on the sideline. Morente will be serving for Army Black Mamba energy drink. Straight to Sabete. Back tip from Cheng. Free ball from Tubino. Cheng gives it to Sabete again. This time it's a bit overcooked. We're tied at 7.
That was close one. So that was a great set as well from Janelle Cheng.
Cheng was trying to contest that as the game captain so far. But no go, says the referees.
We're tied at 7 apiece. Michelle Morente on the service line.
Going with a jump serve straight to Pablo. Dump from Cheng this time works and brings the PetroGAZZ Angels to the first technical timeout. We'll be back here at the PVL. Eight to 7 is the score in favor of the catching up PetroGAZZ Angels here at the 4th set. If you just joined us, Army won the first 2 sets. PetroGAZZ won set number 3. And this time, PetroGAZZ gets a freebie.
Another double violation call against Ivy Perez. You can see on that replay.
The left hand seemed to be ahead of the right hand as Nunag sets up Tubino. They go up to Pablo. Full swing. Popped up by Gonzaga. Over ball for Tubino. Doesn't work. That's too wide.
3 straight unforced errors, Sinj.
Those are 3 points for the PetroGAZZ Angels.
Freebies. Jonah Sabete with 5 points so far at the service line.
Popped up by Morente. They go up to Tubino, getting it to the other side. Pablo. Popped up by Nunag. Tubino again. Sabete was there. Free ball from Cheng. Tobino will get that. They go to a quick to Esguerra. Palma will answer back, but that's denied by Army. Over ball from Nam. Long rally we have here, and Tobino closes things out.
Good recognition there from Royce Tobino. Nakita niya na ang nag-block sa cross court medyo na late. So she hit that cross court and got that point for Team Army.
It is a 2-point lead for PETRO GAZZ as Ann Esguerra, who has 6 points under her name, will serve. Popped up by Sabete. They go up to Pablo. They're looking for a check, but no go, says the referee. Ball is out. 3-point for Army.
2 straight points for Team Army. Let's see if they can catch up here, steal this set, and win this match. As I say that, straight to the net.
They give a freebie to our PETRO GAZZ Angels.
Remy Palma on the service line now for Team PETRO GAZZ Angels. One of the spark plugs in this match today against Team Army. We'll see if they can win this 4th set and extend this to a 5th and deciding set.
Army
Tobino
gets a point there.
Close 4th set.
As we saw the newly minted assistant coach of the FEU TAMS, Joe Bunag, of course, who's part of Army. Serve coming from Perez. Dump ball from Cheng. Coverage from Bang. Pablo covered by Bang. Pablo again. This time she scratches the net.
Net violation call against Myla Pablo. Set was too close. She tried to hit it off the block, but no go for Myla Pablo. We're now tied at 11 points apiece in this 4th set.
11 all as Ivy Perez will serve. They go up to Buite through the block.
Buitre. Just tipping that ball into the block. Medyo loose yung block doon ng Team Army.
Nakalusot. As Tobino starting to get things fired up for the Lady Troopers. Tied at 12 here.
I think 3 of the last 5 points for Team Army came from Royce Tobino.
And now, MJ Phillips marches back in. Switching out with Buite. Serve from Tobino. On attack points in this set, tied at 7 for both squads. They go up to Gonzaga. And Cheng had trouble handling that. Army now gets the lead, 1 point.
The power is back. That hit from Jovelyn Gonzaga. Look at that powerful hit.
Asked her earlier, napapagod ba siya? Bawal, mapagod talaga. And it shows. Hit coming from Phillips. Morente. They go up to Pontillas. On the other side, Gonzaga again off speed. This time, Pontillas with a tip. Tobino from the back row. Cheng goes to Phillips, swiping it, but that will be wide.
MJ Phillips, too strong on that drop ball.
Army now getting a breather of a 2-point lead, and Coach Arnold recognizing that this might bloat up. Let's listen in.
Same. Baba si Myla para lalaki peso niya sa gitna. Oh, para
Discover natin.
Pwede mo i-play 1 mo na lang yan ulit. Yung kanina pinatay natin, B3, 5-0.
Bina. Pero balikan iwan ko ba?
Come on. Masap tayo sa situation, ha? Stop natin.
Tayo naman, dalawa lang yan, ha? Isa-isa lang. Dalawa lang. Ulit natin.
Team PETRO GAZZ Angels calling for that timeout. Let's see if MJ Phillips can bring back that type of game that she had against Creamline in this set number 4. Extend this to a 5th and deciding set.
Differential play for PETRO GAZZ works. Liza Maizo Portillas gets that one through.
As I say that, Maizo Puntillas has been the most consistent player for the PETRO GAZZ Angels tonight.
It's a 1-point game again. Pablo getting an ace. Side of 14.
The duo of Myla Pablo and Aiza Maizo Puntillas trying to pick it all up for the PETRO GAZZ Angels.
Pablo now will serve 14 all. Straight to Lunardo. Phillips with a regalo.
Again, credit that point to Myla Pablo with that strong serve. Nagkaroon ng regalo itong si MJ Phillips. And now they lead a point against Team Army in the set number 4.
Pablo continues to serve. They go up to Gonzaga. Full swing.
She is fired up.
We're now toe-and-toe here. 1 point from one side, another point from the other side. It's great volleyball that we're experiencing as we see this Gonzaga hit through the block, finding the seam.
Yes, you can see her asking for those sets right now. She wants to win it in 4.
Meanwhile, PETRO GAZZ has a change of plans as Gonzaga tips that to their side of the court. Sabete through the blockers this time. PETRO GAZZ leads 15-16 as we enter our second technical timeout. Don't go away. You're still watching the Premier Volleyball League. Jovelyn Gonzaga going off the hands of Myla Pablo.
Tallying her 21st point cinch in this match.
Grabe. Grabe yung nilalaro ng dalawang teams natin ngayon inside the court as Gonzaga serves.
The matchup between her and Aiza Maizo Puntillas.
Now Sabete is joining in the scoring party for PETRO GAZZ.
Joining the party is Sabete with the top spin hit. Now Nicole comes on in and Chisaet for their tactical substitution. They want a 3-woman solid block.
So full front line for their squad here. 3 options for attack. 3 strong blockers.
That's a call a coach has to make in these crucial moments.
But Esguerra answers back right away, tying the ball game at 17.
Nice quick drop hit there from Team Army. Remy Palma a bit late on that block. Michelle Morente.
She got some aces earlier in the first 2 sets, tallying 1 ace. Straight to Sabete. They go to a quick to Palma. On the Army side, Tubino will answer back. Bang was there on guard. Sabete denied by the blockers. Saet goes to Sabete again. Oh, that hit the net.
Straight to the net. That hit of Sabete. Sayang kasi single block coverage lang sa Team Army. It was just Ivy Perez on that block. An opportunity for her to score the point. But no go for Sabete.
Army with a 1-point lead. Morente with that serve. Popped up by Bang. They go up to Sabete this time through the blockers.
Binawi Sabete. She likes it na dalawang blockers sa harapan niya. Nakita niya eh. Nakita niya.
She likes a challenge.
Yes, she likes a challenge and she saw the whole... Scored that point for Petrogaz Angels.
She now marches to the service line. Jonah with that serve. Myla read the Ivy pretty well. The former collegiate teammates.
Miscommunication right there. That was a miscue. Mataas yung block eh. It was still a block ball na pwede pang ma-save sana pero walang nag-usap on the side of Team Army.
Serve from Sabete. And block point 7 in total from Petrogaz and 2 from Army.
Royce Tubino taking back. Hindi niya nakuha yung coverage kanina. And this time around, binawi niya with that off-the-block hit. Now they have a substitution. Esguerra out. The service specialist for Team Army, Gutierrez. Now on the service line for Team Army.
We're in the tail end of the 4th set. It could swing either way as Gutierrez will serve.
Photo finish, Singe. Set number 4.
We'll see as Tubino goes off the blockers. And the defense of Petrogaz was stunned with that last hit.
Back-to-back points for Royce Tubino. Again, using the Petrogaz block.
Unsurprising from the 10th best scorer of the Open Conference earlier this year.
She's also come alive, substituting for Nene Bautista in this game.
Pablo, though, answers back, tying the ball game at 20.
More often than not, single block coverage, ilista mo na kay Myla, Pablo.
You saw Ivy try to cover the down the line. You had Jovelyn Gonzaga right behind her. But still, Myla Pablo made do.
That's how we know her. Those kinds of hits.
Palma will serve straight to Morente. They go up to a running Villarreal on the other side. Chamzon gets a point for Petrogaz.
1-point lead now for the Petrogaz Angels.
Tough moments here for both sides of the court. Army looking to close this out. Petrogaz looking to extend this to a 5th and decider as we see this hit from Nicole Chamzon.
The sense of urgency from both these teams. I'm sure they're acknowledging that every game is a do-or-die game. Single round robin match.
Serve coming from Palma. On the other side, Tubino. Finding that spot. That's her sweet spot.
Sweet spot for Royce Tubino. Not a very powerful hit, pero nakita niya na walang tao doon na nakapwesto for the defense for the Petrogaz Angels. She has come alive here since for Team Army, producing point after point for Team Army.
Perez with that serve. Oh, and she gets an ace. That might just change things up here for Army.
Again, kanina, Army lamang ng isa. So mawal ang PetroGAZZ, lamang sila ng isa. And now it's Army's time to lead in this set number 4. Palitan lang. In this latter part of set number 4.
Perez finding the corner there.
Wow. Great serve right there from Ivy Perez.
2-point lead for Army Black Mamba Energy Drink, and PetroGAZZ needs to call time. Let's listen to Coach Arnold Danyog.
Eh, tatlo naman spiker eh. So may importante bangat na natin dyan sa gitna. Active yung dalawa. Okay. Kanina nag-short, ang ngayon nag-low.
Napatay lang muna.
O sige, wasap tayo.
Angat muna.
Okay, pasama natin.
Tsaka. Go! PetroGAZZ! Angel!
Importante bangat lang muna.
Let's see that last ace coming from Ivy. Perez just dropping her right at the corner. Army now leads by 2, and they need 2 to win this match. PetroGAZZ needs 4 to extend this, as Ivy Perez has 10 big points, 6 on attacks.
Yeah. Very big. A very big number for a setter.
Saet goes up to Pablo, popped up by Tubino. Oh, and regalo for Nicole Chanzon.
1-point deficit. PetroGAZZ Angels.
Edge of the seat moments here.
Ish. Nicole Chamzon. Nerves of steel. Grabe. There was a blocker in front of her. Pero,
She remained unfazed.
yeah.
But this time, Coach Rico is recognizing that they're just an inch away from PetroGAZZ. Let's listen to his timeout.
Pwede ka nang dito?
Thanks, address.
Ito, setter. Jovelyn. Quicker. O ikaw nandito kay Job. Ikaw dito, Royce. Okay, dalawang matibay mong spiker. Ito, quicker. Job, pwede ka mag-tres?
Big-bidras nga, coach.
B3. Okay, sige. Pag magandang play natin, gano'n ang gawin niyo. Pag wala tayong receive, pwede ka dito. Job, pwede ka rin humingi doon ha. Kahit walang receive, pwede kang pumalo dito ha. Depende na lang sa'yo kung kanino may bibigay. Basta pag maganda ka natin ha. Pag maganda ang receive.
Coach Rico wants Ivy Perez to maximize the pin hitters in Jovelyn Gonzaga and Royce Tobino. He wants Jovelyn Gonzaga to do a combination play, Royce Tobino to stay at the back, so we'll see what he's gonna do here.
But it's all on Perez. They go on a tres hit.
Combination
Pablo
play.
on the other side. Tubino through the blockers. Great coverage here from both sides of the court as Contillas gets that one too. She's been quiet earlier. Gonzaga answers back and gets match point for the Army Black Mamba Energy Drink Lady Troopers.
The Bionic Ilongga, Jov Gonzaga, delivering that set point for Team Army with that off-the-block hit. Let's see if they can close it out here in set number 4, Sinj.
Army has 2 match points here. Up to their side. Pontillas with a pickup. They go up to Pablo. Pablo keeps PetroGAZZ alive.
Not yet, says Myla Pablo. Look at that cross-court hit. Powerful hit from Myla Pablo. Ivy Perez on the right spot. Couldn't handle that power spike from Myla Pablo.
Army Black Mamba Energy Drink calls their second timeout. Let's listen in.
Wala na yun. Okay lang yun.
Job, nasa gitna ka?
Okay.
Okay. Pag maganda ulit ang receive, tingnan mo kung ang blocker kung nandito na. Setter, kung tingnan mo kung nandito ang blocker, babantayan si Jovelyn. Tingnan mo yung, sino nga pen? O yan, pwede ka na din dito. Pero pag maganda ang uli, pag maganda ang receive, ito na ang bigay mo. Yung quicker, kailangan mahatak nyo lang yung gitna. Okay?
Sige, sige.
Patruhan mo na, gandahan mo na. Kung maganda tirik, pwede mo na cross court.
Let's go! Game! Skip tayo.
Isang magandang 4 yung request ni Coach Rico.
Simple instructions from Coach Rico. Bigyan niyo lang ng isang magandang receive si Ivy. Kuhanin at tumiming ng maayos yung middle para maka-fish out ng blocker. And bahala na si Jov Gonzaga. Or ang open hitter in Mitch
Let's see if
Moreno.
that works. Oh. Ooh. Very heart-racing moments as Gonzaga closes things out for the Army Black Mamba Energy Drink Lady Troopers, giving them their first win and serving PetroGAZZ their second loss here at the Invitational Conference.
What a performance for Jov Gonzaga and the rest of the Team Army squad here since 23 big points for Jov Gonzaga. She showed up big time tonight against the PetroGAZZ Angels.
Great effort still for the ladies in red, but this time the momentum and the favor swings on the side on the ladies in green and white. Team captain Jovelyn Gonzaga leading the charge for the ladies of the Army Black Mamba Energy Drink Lady Troopers. Big score is 25 to 22, 25 to 16, 21 to 25, and 25 to 23. What an epic game that we had here today. Two epic games at that. Our first 5-setter earlier with Cherry and going up against not Cherry rather, Signal going up against Chocomucho. Signal taking home the win there. And now Army bringing home the bacon for the Army Black Mamba Energy Drink Lady Troopers.
The W for Team Army. Gonzaga with 23 big points off of 22 attacks, a service ace, and of course 23 digs and 8 receptions.
What a performance for the returning Bionic Ilonga. And of course, she has showed up for her squad and she has shown everything all out, all heart. And she joins our insider, Sam Corrales, on court side. Sam, what's the news there with Jov?
Alright, so joining me now is the Bionic Ilonga, Jovelyn Gonzaga. Una-una, congratulations on getting your first win. Ngayon na nakabalik ka na sa indoor volleyball. Ano yung feeling mo ngayon?
Sobrang overwhelming yung feeling na nabigyan namin ng panalo ang Philippine Army. So, para to sa lahat ng nasa hukbong katihan ng Pilipinas.
Yes, and of course, how did the team adjust at a job from your loss? Unang-una, di ba, pinag-uusapan natin na yung in-address nyo talaga yung sa end game. You guys had to finish strong.
Yeah.
And you proved to do that dito sa win against the PetroGAZZ Angels.
Siguro sa training, hinayaan ko sila. Ako personally, hinayaan ko sila mag-grow individually. Nag-focus muna ako sa sarili ko. Kasi the more ko sila iniisip, hindi din ako magsa-step up. So, ginawa namin sa training, kanya-kanya kaming focus sa improvement ng bawat isa. So ngayon pinagsama-sama namin. So ito yung nagiging result ng laro.
And today, kahit wala si coach, no, ano yung natutunan mo about you, about your team, and about the rest of the Army squad?
Natutunan ko, ang binilin talaga ng director namin na kailangan ko mag-lead sa loob. Hindi ako pwedeng mawala. Kailangan ako mag-lead talaga sa bawat isa. So yun ang tutunan ko. And sobrang thankful talaga ako sa fighting spirit ng mga kasamahan ko. Credit to them, lalo na kay Ivy, na sobrang nag-step up sa game ngayon.
And there you have it, guys. The Bionic Ilonga in her first win back dito sa indoor volleyball. Back to our panel.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sam and Jov. And lead and step up they did in that last game. Set 4 had 13 deadlocks and 8 lead changes.
Yes.
So grabe yung hinabol doon ni Jov Gonzaga and the rest of the squad. Let's go to the highlights first of that set. We saw how much PetroGAZZ wanted it, but at the tail end, Black Mamba Army just was able to close it out for their favor.
I like what she said at the end of that interview. She was asked to lead her team to victory today, and indeed she did.
And you know, when she was asked to step up, she realized that she had to focus first on herself. Kasi syempre, you have to love yourself first before you can love the rest of your team.
And it showed. Everyone performed well in today's match against the PetroGAZZ Angels. As we see the set number 4 statistics, 16 apiece in attacks, 1 block for PetroGAZZ Angels, 2 service aces for Army, 1 only for PetroGAZZ Angels. Opponent errors, 7. and 5 for Petrogas.
Dun tayo na naman nagkatalo. And that's what gave the favor to the side of the Black Mamba Army Lady Troopers. On Saturday, PVL action continues as the PLDT high-speed hitters faces the Creamline Cool Smashers, both looking for their second win. Meanwhile, the Chertigo crossovers look to bounce back from their 2 straight losses against the Signal HD Spikers, who won emphatically earlier in 5 sets. So that's the exciting match coming to you this Saturday. On behalf of our insider, Sam Perales, the whole PVL family, and of course, my partner, Ish Polvorosa, this has been Sinjan Reyes thanking you for joining us here tonight at the Premier Volleyball League 2022 Invitational Conference, the heart of volleyball.